You're listening to the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, giving you an in-depth look at Missouri Western athletics with interviews, features, game broadcasts, and more. Here's your host, Tommy Rezaj.
Welcome once again to the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast as we continue our Turn Back the Clock series honoring the 50-year anniversary of the 1975 then Missouri Western State College team that would go on to win 8 games, go undefeated at home, and most notably pick up a win in the Mineral Water Bowl, which was the first winning season in program history and, of course, the first postseason appearance and victory in program history. And a man that knows a lot about that Water Bowl, he was the most outstanding defensive player from the Mineral Water Bowl that year, an outside linebacker, a 2003 Missouri Western Athletics Hall of Fame inductee, a recipient of the 2018 Missouri Western Distinguished Alumni Award, Mr. Keith Evans joining us. Keith, congratulations on you and the guys on getting this honor. 50 years later, what has that team and that experience kind of meant to you, and what will it mean to you to see all these guys get honored once again?
It will mean the world. Thank you very much for having me. That team and the camaraderie of that team had really laid the baseline for my career and what I do today. And the guys that we played with, each and every one of them, we've kept in some sort of contact over this 50 years, and it really leadership, camaraderie, dedication, friendship, working together, working hard, discipline. All of that, it means the world to me, and I give all homage to Atlanta and everything. My whole demeanor, my whole focus to Missouri Western football and that team. We are a great group of guys. Great group of guys.
That's terrific. Yeah, everyone I've talked to thus far, to hear you guys still staying in contact. I know, I hear Scott Graham get mentioned a lot. Of course, he was on the team, and it was kind of in part his idea to talk to you guys and to bring this story to light. Now you're from the Show Me State. You grew up opposite end of Farmington, which I'm from Nebraska, but I believe Farmington's south of St. Louis, if I'm remembering my maps correctly. But just take me through your decision to kind of come play football here and why this place had appealed to you in the first place.
Well, I was looking at some other schools in Southeast Missouri, and then some other schools in Kansas. And Rick Ragsdale, who was 4 years before us, was one of the impetus of me coming there. He's a great guy. He was from Farmington. He had nothing but great things to say, and that was my journey to Missouri Western. I went up to look at the school, loved it, and that was it. I just made my home there, and then we met some of the teammates that we came through, like of course Scotty Graham and Kenny Redding and some of the other guys even. That was around the team but wasn't part of the team a year before, and then year after, guys like TD, Tony, Anthony, Dixon, and so but I mean all the guys, Doug Holland. I mean, I could go through and name everybody. We really just worked together. When we hit that field, we were a team. And we were focused, and we wanted to make Missouri Western a winning, memorable occasion, and we did. And it's 50 years, but it seems like 50 days ago.
Well, you played defense, and I was reading a media guide from back in the day, and you played, of course, outside linebacker, and it mentioned size, experience, and numbers at the linebacker position. And I know on defense, this year was a bit up and down at times, right? Take a loss to Truman State, take a loss to Southeast Missouri. But, I mean, it starts with a shutout. It ends with a shutout. You never lost at home. But talking about, defense, I was talking on the offensive side of the ball earlier with a guy like Mark Story, and he was saying that, I was looking at just the sheer number of guys that came in from 4-year colleges, D1 colleges, the returning letter winners. Did it feel like this team in 75, depth and experience, and kind of reached a peak after a program that only had started 5 years prior?
No, I mean, I think we felt like we still had a lot to prove and
Mm,
a lot to go. I mean, it was, um, we never felt comfortable, but we felt confident.
mm.
And we worked hard in practice. Um, Everybody felt like we were on the same level, whether you were a starter, the second team, or a backup. Everybody worked hard and tried to make each other better, and that's how became such a winning team. I mean, it was just great.
Of course, this would set the course for some more success in the 70s. Missouri Western winning bowl games again in 77 and 79. And I believe you were a part of that team in 77. Yes,
Right.
indeed, that would go on to win yet another bowl game. But yeah, when you talk about, kind of setting the tone, Missouri Western by this point, a 4-year institution, it would become Division II a little over a decade later. But what do you think that 75 year, I mean, a program that goes from one victory in its first year and had kind of slogged through some losing seasons, some competitive years, but to be as highly ranked in the nation as number 7 at that time for kind of an upstart program, what did this 75 year do, in your opinion, to kind of just set this program on a trajectory?
I think it gave us notoriety
Mhm.
uh, that we well deserved. Coach Hicklin and the coaching staff, phenomenal. Gave us confidence. It put the I think it put the school on the map and gave us respect that we deserved.
Well, I'm looking at your office there, and it's appropriately decorated. You got the photos, you got the mug, all sorts of great stuff. I know you've been involved. You were a Hall of Famer. Just how much are you kind of just keeping track of the day to day with Griffin football all these years later, and how excited are you to be back on campus this fall?
Oh, I am tremendously excited to be back. Tremendously. We meet. Probably every couple of weeks, maybe every 3 weeks. Kenny Redding, Tony Dixon, and myself. Tony Dixon was part of the Boot Hill Bowl. I mean, part of the yeah, he was part of the Boot Hill Bowl, our senior year. And we here in Atlanta, we meet and go out to eat and reminisce and talk about it. Both those guys have been highly successful, and uh, it just uh, it just excites me to no end to be able to come back and be a part of that and to see the stadium and see the trees that used to be very small, now huge trees and it gives me warmth and great memories and great pride and I just feel very blessed to have been guided to Missouri Western and have the education through Western to get me started in life.
That
And
name rang a bell for sure. Kenny Redding was one of the guys I was just reading about, considered at the time to be one of the better defensive tackles in all of college football at that point, and a guy who was all region, all district as just a freshman. And you yourself, you were a junior in the 75 year, is that right?
in the 75 year, that was my let's see, that was my sophomore year.
Sophomore year,
Yeah,
that's right.
sophomore and senior, had the bowl games. Sophomore and senior. Yeah. Yeah, Kenny undoubtedly was a tremendous athlete, or
Mhm.
is a tremendous athlete, was a tremendous athlete then,
Yes.
and I contribute a lot of my success to him. He kept all the interference off of me, so I could make tackles, or I can make an interception, or I can be, more effective in my position. So yeah, he was a great uh, defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just briefly as we wrap up, the bowl game victory, obviously Graceland had beaten this Missouri Western team a year before, maybe a bit better established to go in there, not only win, but just to win so convincingly and for you to get the defensive MVP award. I mean, that had to have been just a culmination, right? A celebration, a
Oh,
reaping fruits of your rewards.
just a great feeling. I don't remember forever. The running back Huggy Bear was supposed to run us over and run through us, and it was our 44-0 win
Mhm.
was another reason why I um, asked Coach Hicklin to for the number 44 for the rest of my career. and I was very surprised to get the honor of the defensive player, and I will cherish it to no end. And still, as you can see, Missouri Western. In fact, a quick story though, I was at a aviation is one of my favorite things, one of my busts, and I was at a little flying community in Locust Grove, Georgia, and a guy had a Missouri Western T-shirt on, and I was like, did you go to Western? Did you go? He said, no, my son bought it at someplace, because he liked the T-shirt and liked this, and he said he looked at the school. But in any case, Missouri Western's on the map. I bump into people in Atlanta that played baseball at Missouri Western, and one of the guys was going there now. So, um, Missouri Western, for a small Division II school, is on the map. It laid the groundwork for a lot of individuals. That whole group of guys on that team, on my sophomore and senior, well, the whole 4 years, but especially sophomore, senior guys, we're all pretty successful, and I contribute that to Coach Hicklin and the camaraderie of the team, the physicality of the team, and I will cherish that memory and feeling for life, and looking forward to excitement in about, what is it, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, as of the taping of this episode, it'll be 3 weeks. Yeah, on September the 20th, which will be the first home conference game at that point, just the second home game of the year. And I think I was telling the other guys, kind of fitting, Central Missouri, one of our oldest, more storied rivals, a pretty fitting choice there to play that game and to have this honor at that time. It'll be a primetime game, and I tell you what, this is my 5th year with the Griffins. I always just think Spratt at night in a close game. I mean, the energy is unbelievable. So looking forward to seeing it with you guys in the house. I mean, it's going to be definitely special.
Well, thank you very much, and it's going to be special to us too. And I look forward to seeing everybody.
That's again outside linebacker Keith Evans, already a Missouri Western Hall of Fame inductee and the 1975 Mineral Water Bowl defensive MVP, a member of that 75 team that would go on to be 8-3-1 and Mineral Water Bowl champions, setting the tone for a pretty successful run of football there in the mid to late 1970s. Keith, great to talk with you. Thanks for taking the time. And as I've told the other guys, just look forward to seeing you guys and have your moment here in a few weeks.
Great, Tommy. Good talking to you as well.